boy! Hey everyone, how's it going? It's time to mosey on over to the Technicolor Mike B Show, where we're just horsing around today with our H is for horse. Yes, we've continued our work on animals A through Z, and we're up to the letter H, which of course had to be the horse. Oh yes, I did toy around with the idea of doing Sonic the Hedgehog, one of those other H animals, but you know, I've always struggled with a horse design for face painting, trying to make it look realistic while having it as a full face design, so I figured I would go with that challenge for today. And no, it's not a pony or a unicorn in one of those Technicolor colors that I am known for, but a more traditional brown and white horse. So yeah, a horse is a domesticated animal with one toe slash hoof, and there are more than 300 breeds of horse in the world, and each one is developed for a different use. Some of them are your race horses, some of them are your pulling horses, some are the kind that they use in the police force for those horse-mounted officers. Yep, there are lots of uses for horses these days. So I was trying to come up with what my experiences were with a horse. I really can't say I've ridden a horse all that many times in my life, and I can only come up with one time in the last 20 years that I've gone horseback riding, and that was I was at one point active with a group called Single Volunteers of DC, and occasionally I would do other activities with Things to Do DC. Both groups had different events and opportunities for people to just get to know other adults in the area. And I remember I did go on a horseback ride with one of those groups in the last, I don't know, 12, 15 years. And I know I've looked up horseback riding at least a dozen times in the last year or two, thinking, hey, I need to get back and do some horse activities. And I actually looked at vacation opportunities for a dude ranch to spend a week with horses. But yeah, before that, the one time I remember that we took a real horseback ride was at Yellowstone National Park. It was, I think, the summer before my 8th grade year in school, and we were visiting Yellowstone for, I think, 3 days, and we signed up for a evening cookout that included a horseback ride where we rode some horses to the cookout location. My mom was not too keen on the idea of riding a horse, so she booked herself the ride in the chuck wagon so she could have a stagecoach take her to the cookout location. And the other real opportunity I recall with horses was at summer camp. I was a Boy Scout, and the summer camp I went to had a facility just across the street or fairly close to the camp that offered the horsemanship merit badge, and that was, I think, several days or half days or several mornings of going out to the stables and working with the staff, learning how to care for a horse, what they like to eat, the different varieties of horses, how to clean their saddle, how to put the saddle on and check their feet to make sure their horseshoes are on properly, and just do a bunch of other stuff. And I remember I did that one summer and got my horsemanship merit badge with the Boy Scouts. And other than that, you know, as a kid, we probably did pony rides at the local carnival and things like that. But I can't really recall too many other times we went horseback riding. And I was looking up horses in pop culture. It's like, yeah, where do we come up with horses, think about horses these days? And there really aren't too many things I could come up with. There is, of course, the term horsepower. It is used in automobile engines. How much force does that engine provide? And horsepower refers to the power an engine produces and is calculated as the power needed to move 550 pounds 1 foot in 1 second, or the power to move 33,000 pounds 1 foot in 1 minute. And apparently a horse by themselves can't actually move that much weight in that short period of time. That would take several horses, but like a horse just galloping along with no weight, no passenger, yeah, they provide more than enough horsepower for themselves, but they don't have that pulling power that the engines do. So 1 horsepower engine is stronger than 1 horse if the horse was to pull that same vehicle along. Another horse reference in pop culture is the horseshoe. Horseshoes are said to bring good luck. Yes, and I was reading about the horseshoes. The horseshoes have always, or a long time, been considered lucky. They were originally made from iron, which is a material that was believed to ward off evil spirits. And the ideal horseshoe had 7 nails holding it in, and of course 7 is a lucky number, so yes, horseshoes are quite lucky. And I've been told if you hang a horseshoe on a wall, you hang it U-shaped with it up so it captures the luck instead of drops it out if it was pointing down. Don't know that for sure, since I really haven't had a lucky horseshoe to mount. And since we're talking about horseshoes, there is that game we play, tossing horseshoes, trying to get a ringer around the stick. And in basketball, horse is a popular name. Game to play if you're competing with other kids, other people. And it's all about, if you make this shot, you get to go on to next term. If you miss, you get an H, then an O, then an R, then an S, then an E. So yeah, the first person who spells horse is out of the game. So those are just some places that have horses, the horse terminology that we use on a regular basis. As far as like pop culture references, yeah, I couldn't really come up with a lot of these horses on my own. I was like, yep, I recognize that one after I read it off the list. There is Bullseye, Woody's horse from Toy Story 2 and on. Yes, his horse was Bullseye. If you remember Hanna-Barbera's cartoons, they had Quick Draw McGraw. Yes, he is a horse. That clay show Gumby, he had his horse Pokey. The Lone Ranger had Hi-Yo Silver Away. Yes, Lone Ranger rode his horse Silver, and Tonto's horse was Scout. And I was a big MASH fan, but I totally forgot about this horse. Colonel Potter from MASH had a horse named Sophie. But I think the most popular horse from pop culture is that one with that theme song, "Oh, horse is a horse, of course, and no one can talk to a horse, of course. That is, of course, unless the horse is a famous Mr. Ed. Go right to the source and ask the horse. He'll give you the answer that you'll endorse. He's always on a steady course. Talk to Mr. Ed." Yep, that show was a little bit before my time, but I remember watching Mr. Ed in reruns. It was on TV from 1961 until 1966. The show's title character is a talking horse who originally appeared in short stories by Walter R. Brooks, and they were published between 1937 and 1945. So on that show, the title role of Mr. Ed, the talking Palomino horse, was played by a gelding bamboo harvester and voiced by Western film actor Alan Lane. The role of Ed's owner, a genial but klutzy architect named Wilbur Post, was played by Alan Young. And it's been ages since I've watched that show, but according to the thing, most of the gags follow Mr. Ed's tendency to only talk to Wilbur. Yes, so Wilbur would be talking to the horse would be talking back, and someone would hear Wilbur talking and like, "Hey, Wilbur, who are you talking to?" And of course, Mr. Ed's not going to say anything. Someone's listening. So yes, and as much as I like superheroes and superpowers and things like that, apparently this show never really addressed how Mr. Ed learned how to talk, where that ability came from. That was just sort of a given that he was a talking horse. So here is my little pony balloon. It is my fast tube balloon design, and I like to do them in colors where the horse body is a lighter color than the manes and the ears. Yeah, I don't know why your ears would be purple, but it's using the balloon that I have to do it. And I think people really enjoy this horse, and I could put that banana on his head so he could become a unicorn, or as I like to call him, a balloonicorn. So yes, so there is my horse balloon. So which of those horses from pop culture did you remember on your own, and can you think of some other ones? Yeah, we just don't have that many Western shows on TV like they used to in the olden days. So until next time, see you later, alligator. After a while, crocodile. Thanks for watching, and we'll see which animal comes next for the letter I.